Lamont Roach is stepping into the fight of his life, determined to shake up the boxing world with an upset victory over the knockout king, Gervonta "Tank" Davis. With the Barclays Center set to erupt on fight night, Roach is making bold claims that he has what it takes to not only withstand Tank's devastating power, but also land his own shots that could change the course of the fight. But history has shown that talking about exposing Davis and actually doing it are two entirely different things. Fighter after fighter has stepped into the ring with similar confidence, only to find themselves either unconscious on the canvas or broken under Tank's relentless pressure. Roach, however, insists that his technical skills, movement, and sharp boxing IQ will make him the man to finally break Davis's unstoppable streak of knockouts. He believes that Davis has never faced someone with his specific style, a fighter who can box smartly for 12 rounds while still packing enough power to make Tank think twice before walking him down. But will Roach's game plan hold up once the punches start flying? Can he really take Tank's best shots and still keep his composure? Or will this fight end the way so many others have, with Tank standing victorious and another opponent left wondering what went wrong? The hype surrounding this matchup is undeniable, but what truly makes it intriguing is the unknown factor. How will Roach react when Tank starts closing the distance and unleashing the kind of power that has flattened so many before him? Fighters can prepare for speed, footwork, and technique, but preparing for the kind of raw knockout power that Davis possesses is a different beast altogether. Roach says he welcomes the challenge, but as history has shown, once Tank smells blood, there's no stopping him. He doesn't just knock people out. He calculates their every move, waits for the perfect moment, and detonates with punches that end fights in an instant. If Roach truly believes he has the blueprint to beat Davis, he better be ready to execute it perfectly, because there is no margin for error when you're standing across the ring from one of the most feared punchers in the sport. The moment of truth is coming fast, and the question remains, will Roach prove the doubters wrong? Or will Tank add yet another brutal knockout to his already terrifying highlight reel? Lamont Roach is stepping into the biggest fight of his career with supreme confidence, believing he can put Gervonta "Tank" Davis to the test when they clash this Saturday night at Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Roach has made it clear that he wants to see how Tank reacts when he lands his power punches, and he is convinced that his skills and strategy will allow him to do just that. He acknowledges that Davis has devastating knockout power, but he believes that he has enough technical ability and ring IQ to take the fight into the later rounds and possibly
win by decision. Even though Roach isn't widely regarded as a knockout artist, he feels that if he can execute his game plan effectively, he can push Tank in ways his previous opponents haven't. Fans eager to watch the fight can tune in live on PBC on Prime Video PPV on March 1st, but the $79.95 price tag has sparked complaints from some boxing enthusiasts. Many fans have become accustomed to the high-profile, blockbuster fight cards from the Riyadh season, which have delivered some of the biggest matchups in recent boxing history. Still, despite the pricing concerns, the event promises to be an exciting night of action, featuring multiple competitive fights on the undercard. As for Gervonta Davis, his future in the sport remains a hot topic, with many wondering who he will fight next after this bout. While he has yet to confirm his next move, speculation is swirling around Shakur Stevenson and other high-profile opponents. Tank has built a reputation as the face of boxing, and if he wants to maintain that status, he will need to continue taking on big-name challengers. However, before he can focus on his next blockbuster matchup, he must first take care of business against Lamont Roach, who is determined to give him a serious challenge. Roach is particularly eager to see how Davis handles a clean power shot from him. "We're going to see how he reacts when I land my shots," Roach confidently stated in an interview with Sean Zittle's YouTube channel. When asked if he believes he has the chin to withstand Tank's brutal punching power for a full 12 rounds, Roach didn't hesitate. "Yeah, for sure. We're gonna find out," he replied. Roach knows that Davis has a reputation for ending fights in spectacular fashion, but he remains convinced that His own boxing skills, movement, and durability will allow him to push Tank further than many of his past opponents. However, for Roach to survive and possibly pull off an upset, he will need to deliver a career-best performance against one of the most feared knockout artists in boxing. Since 2022, Davis has knocked out every single one of his opponents, and none of them have lasted beyond the 9th round. The last fighter to take Davis the full distance was Isaac Pitbull Cruz in 2021. And even then, Tank fought the second half of the fight with an injured left hand. That statistic alone highlights how dangerous Davis is. Even when he's hurt, he still finds a way to dominate his opponents. Roach faces an uphill battle because he lacks the same level of punching power as some of Davis's past rivals. If Roach cannot establish his jab early and use his footwork effectively, Davis will likely close the distance and begin breaking him down with heavy shots. Tank has power, speed, and great reflexes, but I believe I have what it takes to match or neutralize what he brings, Roach said. He recognizes that his biggest challenge will be keeping the
Tank from walking him down, something that very few opponents have successfully done. If Roach cannot earn Tank's respect with his power, he could quickly find himself overwhelmed by Davis's relentless offense. Roach, however, is hoping for a fight that plays to his strengths. He would love for Davis to come forward behind a high guard, as he did against Frank Martin and Mario Barrios, because he believes it would create openings for his counters and make for an explosive, action-packed battle. I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, this fight will be unforgettable, Roach stated. He also embraces the underdog role, knowing that most fans and analysts are writing him off before the fight even begins. I've been here before. I'm not the guy in the spotlight, and maybe that's because of my loss to Jamel Herring. That probably tainted my reputation a little, Roach admitted. While many see him as a stepping stone for Davis, Roach is determined to prove that he belongs at this level. However, the biggest question remains, can he withstand Tank's power for an entire fight? Davis is known for eventually finding a fight-ending shot, no matter how elusive or durable his opponents may be. If Roach cannot neutralize Davis's explosive offense, then sooner or later, Tank will land something big, and when that moment comes, it will be up to Roach to prove whether he can survive the storm or become Tank's next knockout victim. Roach's confidence heading into this fight is admirable, but talking about landing power shots on Tank Davis and actually doing it are two completely different things. Many fighters have entered the ring with a similar mindset, convinced that they could challenge Davis, only to find themselves overwhelmed by his explosiveness, speed, and sheer knockout power. While Roach believes he has the tools to outbox Davis for 12 rounds, he must also be prepared for the relentless pressure that Tank applies. Davis isn't just a power puncher, he's an elite-level counterpuncher who can make opponents pay for even the slightest mistakes. If Roach gets caught standing still for even a second too long, he could find himself on the receiving end of one of Tank's devastating uppercuts or body shots, which have ended fights in dramatic fashion. The challenge for Roach will be balancing his offensive output while staying defensively responsible, something that very few fighters have been able to do against Davis. Another major concern for Roach is his ability to handle Davis's power over multiple rounds. Even the toughest opponents struggle to take Davis's punches cleanly, and unlike Isaac Cruz, who